Hey everyone, this podcast is coming to you from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. You can support this show and our larger efforts to build a leftist community through podcasting and other projects over at patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage. That's patreon.com/PSYCHICDOLPHIN Garage, which is spelled how it sounds.
Yeah, so I take it y'all all saw the video of the Florida guys protesting to reopen the gym by working out outside.
Yeah, I could not stop laughing. Like,
It's
were
the
doing
fucking...
push-ups and sit-ups. It was so fucking corny.
Like, y'all realize you're doing gym shit. Like, you don't need to do that in a fucking Gold's branded building. You can just work out.
Like, you know that if three of you got together and hadn't spent your money on the gym for like
on
a
Joe
year.
Rogan's Patreon and fucking, whatever supplements. Yeah.
Whatever, like,
you could
roids
buy
from Mexico you're getting.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could buy 3 machines, put it in one of your fucking garages, and then all work out together.
There you go.
Like friends do.
A lot of the wrestlers that I follow, they don't have like access to like gyms. One of them, Warhorse, actually rebuilt a gym because he like does carpentry and he found like missing pieces of like or like loose like free weights and stuff and has like rebuilt a gym. It's like, that's cool. Like, you could do something like that, learn a skill and rebuild your gym, or be like Effie and do DDP yoga and bodyweight exercises and look fucking hot still. Like,
yeah, DP yoga. I've seen that video.
Bunch of dudes who just worked out in prison are thinking like, finally, my expertise comes in handy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait. So it's just a bunch of people in prison selling their workout routine to dipshits in Florida.
Yeah, all right. So here's
Pretty
what you
much.
do, right? You get the 2 heaviest books they got in the library, which are Mein Kampf and Harry Potter. And you just fucking lift those until you're fucking huge and nobody fucks with you. That's the workout routine. That'll be fucking $30 per VHS tape. Thank you very much, sir.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everyone, I'm Kelton,
And I'm Zach.
I'm Bo.
and I'm Dennis.
and welcome to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Ooh.
This week, it's just the boys here. I know that seems less special now that it's resuming a normal schedule of sorts, but we are celebrating 1 year of doing this shit, so that is fun for us. Yeah, it's pretty much official. The honeymoon period is over. We're a year into this. Just expect a whole lot less effort as time moves on. And
Yeah, nobody's doing the dishes. All our conversations are like, honey, wasn't that a Stuckey's a while ago? Oh yeah, it was. When did that close down? So it's great. Yeah, we're definitely not reinstalling Tinder hidden in like 3 folders deep.
Oof.
It's great.
Other than that last thing, that has pretty much been all of my relationships.
Oh no! You poor babe. You poor
Yeah.
dear.
Hey,
Well, I'm glad this podcast
It must be the
can-
California air. So.
Yeah, I'm glad this podcast can join that wonderful list.
I'm just grateful because we've tried to expand out to as many wide variety of social media platforms as possible, really gotten ourselves out there, and we figured out that there's about 600 people who actually give a fuck about us, and that's kind of heartwarming to see. I mean, there were 900 of you at one point, so now that it's 600, it's a little distressing. See where we're at next year, but I suppose it's just going to be shit posting and game shows from here on out, and we'll see what few proud Marines are left.
Stay healthy, please. We're
I'm pretty
begging you.
sure that this is just 69 people, and most of them have like 9 alts.
There you go. That math checks out. Yeah.
I want to believe it's 69 people anyways.
I don't know math, so to me that math checks out. Thank you, every online stats class where it's like, oh yeah, it's online. I could do the homework whenever, and whenever means never, apparently. So,
Yep.
yep.
There's no centralized regulation for homework, but there's also not centralized regulation for participating in our 5-star, 1-star program. So it's not mandatory. So only one of you has turned in your homework this week. And
Your
that
extra
is
credit, you might
Trevin.
say.
Yeah, your extra credit. Thank you, Trevin, for participating this week. We're going to read The 1-star review for the Louder with Crowder podcast, which reads, "One thing's for sure, this is indeed a podcast. That's the only thing I can say on this topic. Good day, sir."
So I really like this, not only as a review in itself because it's great, but as an example for the rest of yous mugs out there. It doesn't even need to be like particularly caustic or anything. Just give them that 1 star. Just fucking give them the bad engagement that you don't like, and move on with your day. It's great.
Yeah, and a new review for us, a 5-star review for a podcast titled Psychic Dolphin Garage. You guys never predict the future, nor do you guys make dolphin sounds. Seriously though, great podcast. I find myself dying of laughter multiple times each episode. Keep up the great work.
See, you make the dolphin sounds. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So enjoy that. Thank you for your contribution. And for...
we have absolutely predicted the future. I'm gonna jump out in front of that.
Oh yeah.
We've absolutely made calls. I don't know which ones we've predicted, but we've absolutely made calls that came true.
we can predict the future, but we can't remember our own past.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The two-edged sword.
Yep. The classic dolphin blade that we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphin blade.
God.
And the dolphin cannon.
Can we please? I was gonna say, can we please get a fucking dolphin blade forged with Patreon money? I think that'd be good.
Okay. We just buy out a forge instead of a brew house that's a forge.
Oh no, sir! I am saying we go to every dead mall in the country until we find a shop that sells dolphin-shaped swords, and we fucking scoop one of those up. Dead Mall Tour 2020, boys.
I mean,
I guess that's most malls these days, but still.
Yeah, I live very near the Twin Pines Mall from Back to the Future fame, so we can start there.
Is that one still kicking, or is it totally fucking?
No, I mean like the Forever 21 closed, which is usually a bad sign.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When fast fashion manages to go under, that's like.
Mm-hmm. But there is an arcade attached to it that is presumably still going to be open after COVID, and it's a round one. It's one of those big old fancy Japanese arcades.
That's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
I really do love the retail ecosystem that persists within dead malls, because it's like you got like arcades and like karate places and like little family hair salons, and then like a very hardy, tenacious Auntie Anne's who's just not taking any shit, like just sticking around. It's really beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the large-hearted, well-meaning mall manager who somehow manages to piss everyone off by being a complete Karen, even though they're just renting out like discount spaces for small businesses to have a storefront in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This isn't a tax evasion scheme at all.
Oh, not at all.
Very, very regular lids that we have here. An entirely standard lids franchise we've got set up that has no cocaine involved, we promise. Meltdown May is in full effect. Texas is back open. We've got the record number of coronavirus cases in the thousands. Roughly 2 weeks after we've opened, it's
you all.
Oh baby,
you all beat New York and California. Way to go!
Yeah. May's the month, babe.
To be fair, though, the reason the numbers have gone up so drastically is because we've actually just decided to start testing people instead of actively just denying it. So. Baby steps as we funeral march into our own graves.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah.
I feel like a Texas is a very much sort of like if God could lead you to it, God could lead you through it sort of state.
Wait, I've never heard that. That's great.
If God can lead you to Texas, God can lead you through Texas. He won't. You'll die, but he can.
You'll get grown.
It's some real Old Testament God shit. It's not good.
It could also count as the tourist motto for both New Mexico and Louisiana.
Jesus, true.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Well, we started off May 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What's our latest? What's the damage this week?
So this week, Josh for Congress, an account that came up in like jokes in the past couple episodes of just like, little throwaway things of like, oh yeah, that fucking guy, he's on Twitter, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just actually like disappeared off Twitter for a fucking whole day, and then like
Josh took he took a hiatus from Twitter. He deactivated his account because he needed to file that week, and he had meetings. And did you know you can only file? There's only like 1 week open where you can file in Washington State.
Mhm.
oh shit,
Yeah.
well, that explains that.
Really disenfranchising
so-
to a lot of people.
Yeah, and he's a member of the Rose Caucus, who we are aware of and have touted some stuff for. Rose Caucus also helped work with Rent Strike 2020 and made that a reality
That's pretty.
for a lot of
That's
people
pretty
in the
rad.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so he ended up running instead of as a Democrat. He's running as he created a new party, and he's running as an essential workers party.
Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Glad that there was a lot of run up to that, and it wasn't kind of a fucking, oh shit, I just realized I have homework. It's 11 o'clock at night. Let's really bang this
Yeah,
out.
I mean, a lot of people are giving him shit for doing this. It really does seem like a lot of like younger people who are giving him shit for it, who don't really understand how voting works. Like they wanted him to run as a Democrat, and I understand like their idea is like, oh, this is a 2-party system. We need to have this, but he's running for Congress, and it's not as if like America's most popular senator is not a third party already. Like Bernie Sanders has always been a third party. And so I honestly don't think that running third party is at all a big deal. It's not like you can vote for whoever you want to in a congressional run. Like they don't have to be a member of your party or not. And like, hey, maybe this means that we'll get stronger like leftist third parties and in Congress, where it's arguably more important to have them than as the president.
yeah. Also, Washington, not exactly a Republican / Democrat stronghold.
Right.
Plenty of reason to have someone that is pretty popular and seems to be making headway in their state to run on a third party platform to help keep pushing the envelope. Because that's what runs for Congress are. They're pushing the envelope. It's not. I mean, it is about winning somewhat, but we still benefit whether or not we still benefit if we win or if we just push the envelope. There's no losing here.
I really appreciate how optimistic y'all are about things. So, I mean, I think it's very cool. It's adorable. It's cute. I'm so jaded at this point that I'm not going to outright, start burning down bridges and saying that he's a grifter. But if he was a grifter, every single thing that he has done is what a grifter would do. And so I think the people who do kind of have the hairs on the back of their neck up have every reason to be thinking
a little
about that. Now,
skeptical.
I would say, of course, don't, start bashing the guy. Don't start, calling him out and saying like, this is obviously what you've done here. Here's my list of accusations that I can't back up. But I would say that if someone is deciding to run on something and create a new party and they're part of a coalition of sorts, and if you were wondering about, is this a way to then launder and wash certain amounts of bills that we've talked about Republicans doing before, and this could be happening on the smaller scale, I mean, fine, go ahead and think that way. It's also, I think personally, A-OK to start pointing out how a website that has $50 flags but no actual platform listed at the time is just a weird launch strategy.
Perhaps a grift.
Yeah.
Again, not saying that it is a grift, just saying that if he was running a grift, this would exactly look
how to
like
do it,
what
yeah.
it is. And so I don't quite know when he's going to break out of the mold. Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I also don't know what would then authenticate him to the people who doubt, or what would make people think for sure that he's running a grift to the people who think that he's not. So let's just hope he wins, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
I
course.
would counter that by saying like, hey, everybody who's out here critiquing him for not running in a way that will help him get into office and throwing away a congressional run and people's hard-earned money that they've given to him, that they're a bunch of fucking liberals, and they complain all the time that he doesn't talk about theory when he posts plenty of stuff about about Marks online.
Specifically, how he'll finally read him, right?
Yeah, if maybe you don't follow him or you don't like that all he does is Mark's post, then maybe you don't have the same goals in getting someone elected that people that would support him do. So
Exactly. I mean, if you're not a constituent in the Washington State district, it ultimately doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Now, if none of the people in his district like him, and then he absolutely falls on his face, and then people, start leaking out stuff afterwards, there's going to be a whole bunch of Twitter drama on that. And I think it would be a good idea for everyone to log off for about 72 hours, because that's going to get
72 days.
very ugly.
Can't wait
Yeah,
for Meltdown
might as
in
well.
June.
Oh
Good
God.
shit. I mean,
Oh,
really, my take on it is if you want to just run and not win, just register as a Democrat. I mean, fucking, there you go. if your goal is not to win, then that's the party for you.
Yeah, I can see how people might find there to be red flags, but at the same time, people are kind of comparing this to DNC backed congressional runs and things. So people actually having money and time and resources to build websites.
Weinstein dollars.
Yeah, literal Weinstein dollars. There is sure, one can maintain their suspicion, but I also think that like what Zach was saying, is that a lot of these people are liberals who are complaining about things. And if you're really hurt by this, you can, 1, unfollow him, and 2, ask for a refund. That's it's fully viable for you to ask for a refund because you're afraid that his donations or the donations that you gave to him are not being used properly. It's perfectly fine. This system is set up for people to literally vote with their dollars if they wanted to. So you could do that.
However, Dennis, how am I supposed to refund all the Twitter clout that I gave him by liking and all that his posts?
That you just have to fall on your sword. Sorry.
Yet again,
Time to
hoist
make
by
a new
my own
account.
posting petard.
I mean, it's the only thing that really is going to do some damage is if him and his 9 alts get banned from the Chapo subreddit. that's really going to be the thing that hurts his outreach the most.
Well,
The Chapo subreddit is where leftists, where true leftists are made.
yes,
I
forged
mean,
the
it's where he
fires.
got made, at least. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Christ, and there's nobody who is more on the forefront of being made by the Chapo subreddit than Amber Frost.
Oh God.
Maid's
Christ,
a word.
God.
Maid's a word for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Had.
So-
she writes. She's like a journalist type, right?
She is.
Women be writing.
They do. They do be writing. Fucking, I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah. So Amber wrote this honestly screed. There's no other way to put it, about not wearing a mask and how it it upsets her and things like that. What?
The title of the article is "I'm not wearing a mask."
Mhm.
So I mean, that's the very clickbaity title
Right.
that lures everyone in.
In conclusion, not wearing a mask is a land of contrasts.
Right.
That's about the fucking level of it.
To be fair, she is wearing a mask. Although, for someone who is quite the misanthrope, she said that she misses seeing people's faces. And
Yes.
I have also written many paragraphs while coming off of cocaine.
it really does seem like she might have been under the influence of a little something while writing this, because there are so many paragraphs of literally saying the same thing over and over again, to the point where you could just sort of read the last paragraph. I am a fan of Amber. I think her writing is really good, but I do think that this is a miss for me, and I do think she might have been on something while writing it. And it could have just been anger and being upset over whatever. She is a very
Imagine fucking caring about things.
Gwen Snyder really got
Yeah.
to her.
Oh no.
So
Yeah, it's just she doesn't really say anything. She goes on tangents about consumerism, and then tangents about brands selling us their branded masks, and how how the left are emotional terrorists who take us hostage.
Yeah.
That's a thing she said.
It-
Love that.
It went on a
And the mask she's actually talking about is capitalism.
Whoa.
She's actually
Oh.
wearing her real mask, but she doesn't like the consumerism around it, man.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with the society. What?
yeah.
I just wish
Yeah.
that she could just take this whole thing and boil it down to a tweet, and that we could then yell at her about how good or bad
She would
the
have
tweet
to be
is.
on Twitter first.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
She's
Like that's all that this is. Like just literally the real mask is capitalism. Send tweet. That's it.
yeah.
just-
It's not her best work. As someone who is like usually a fan of her work, even like stuff that I disagree with her on, her writing is usually very good. This was terrible. Sorry, Amber. This was a bad little like rant.
Sorry, Sweaty.
Sorry, Sweaty. You like were just ranting, and
Yeah.
it wasn't good. It's as good as like a white woman's Medium article, honestly.
because it is a white woman's medium.
Yeah, except it's on a
Anyway.
site called Damaged, or just Damaged.
Which,
Wow.
oh boy. Yeah, just carve that into your forehead while you're at it.
God,
Jesus.
just it's so bad. I mean, I don't think we should probably talk about it too much more because I think that would be us putting more thought into it than she did. So
Oh, true.
I mean, let's at
All
least
right.
like rip some fat fucking bumps first. Like, let's get this going, boys.
Thank you, Bo. I'm glad that someone on this
Mhm.
podcast is here to empathize with the women who we are, mostly just critiquing,
Mhm.
and we're emotionally terrorizing them.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the closest I have to a real life white women extinction button, so I'm gonna do what I can.
I guess if we're doing everything that we can, then we need to also be critiquing Bernie this week for not voting against the legislation that came through
Yeah.
Mhm.
that allowed
Yeah,
the FBI
is-
to look
is
at our
Pep
browser
Pep canceled?
history without.
is Pep the actual Pep that we thought he was? I think is a legitimate question that people should be asking themselves.
Right.
Because I mean, the image of Bernie Sanders is like, oh, he actually is this Marxist he's hiding his power levels. Yeah, that's fucking stupid if you actually thought that. Or rather, let me clarify, if you still think that.
Yeah.
That is you just buying into like some weird propaganda, some labor wave poster you saw and thought was really cool.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, beforehand, it's gullible to a point that's like, forgivable. Like, fucking, God forbid you have hopes and dreams, right?
Well,
but
yeah,
like
don't.
at this, don't. Yeah, it's a bad idea too. But at this point, it's like, I mean, he's just another fucking dude.
Well,
Like,
the thing
it's
is, like,
disappointing.
I think it is true that people get more conservative as they age, and I think that's very true of Sanders too. He was certainly much more radical in the past than he was now. I think that there was maybe
Well, and times have caught up with him a
right,
little bit.
and
too.
I think that things like the way that this vote went though were a little scheming, though McConnell did not allow for there to be a an in absentia vote. Like you did have to actually be there physically, and Bernie is a very old man who is probably very fearful of his health, and I would be too if I was an old man.
80, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then who knows whether or not this would have gotten through had he voted or not. But the fact of the matter is that, like, yes, there is enough. There's more. Like this is just one more extra thing to pile on to Bernie for critique.
Yeah.
Because I think we're being honest here. I don't think any of us have ever said that he was the perfect candidate. And like we've said, you're kind of foolish to think that he was the perfect candidate, but he was the best one that we could have. And I still don't think that like this is not like a great thing that happened because of him, but I'm not like super angry about it. I do
Fucking
feel
string him up in the streets or something. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like
No,
this sort of thing would have happened regardless. I mean, like the Patriot Act allowed so much more spying on us for the past like
Yeah.
20 or so years now anyway.
The patriarchy.
Yeah, quick point of order
patriarchy,
though. I did say he was the perfect candidate. Right after I saw that shirtless Soviet Union singing video.
Oh,
But that was it. Yeah. Because I mean, that is some advanced fucking cool guy shit right there.
And that's also just your daddy issues manifesting themselves.
I mean, like I want to be him. I want to be in him in that video. It's a lot of feelings there.
You want to be the borscht that he's eating.
Exactly. Yeah. Slurp me up, Bernie. Like
I'm just curious about why we have to have a vote in the Senate to for the FBI to be allowed to collect our browser history, or rather for to not go forward with protections for our browser history and such during FBI investigations.
I mean, like, they're gonna fucking do it anyway.
We could just like the NSA could basically just do that, or they could just do like China has and use Apple terms of service and make an app that everybody uses, and then collect it that way. Say, I don't know, Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, or I mean, Instagram is Facebook, so Facebook or Twitter, basically. And just bypass protections of that because Apple and the Google Store allows you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a thing to think about when you're laughing at that TikTok that China can see what you're doing. That Marxist state, those darn communists.
President Z, please come liberate us. We're suffering over here. We're not having a fun time. Come pick us up.
We're suffering. We're birthing. This is the birth pains of the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah, I'm a full-on dungus now at this point. Like, it's like, just fucking come help out, please. Going by all those articles that say like we would do shit in an actual like ground war or a sea war or fucking any sort of actual combat engagement like with a equally matched world power, like just pull the fucking trigger, please just do it. We had a good run, I think, as a country.
You heard it here first.
We did have a good run. It's time to put us down like dogs.
Yep.
Much like Bolsonaro is doing to just Brazil.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, no, I think so. As I saw this fucking article in the docket, all I could think was like, if Brazil's emerging as the new global coronavirus hotspot, like I think Brazil's gonna fill our shoes as like the dumb guy country. Because like we're gonna fucking like off ourselves that we're gonna stick the proverbial fork in the electrical socket, and Brazil's just gonna keep chugging along in a Homer Simpsonian kind of idiocy that I think is gonna keep them going for another good 50 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, God, I mean,
is that why we brought Bolsonaro here? Trump was like, here, we'll infect you so that you'll be fine. We'll give you some chloroquine or whatever to help you recover from it, and then you can take it back with you. And then also we don't want to look that bad, so sacrifice 30% of your population or whatever, and then we'll help you afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Brazil was like quick on its way to become a global superpower, and you know what? They will be in some other way with the
they're number one in a sense. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we because there's like so much like Red Scare against China. We were blaming China for like, Chinese New Year and all of this for helping to spread the virus, fully not taking into account that Brazil had not closed its borders and during Carnival, and Carnival went along just like normal. And like Bolsonaro has been...
You might even say it was a carnival of dunces.
One might. But... Bolsonaro also has been like seen on camera, like just hacking up lungs, just like looking like the most dead, like
those fucking pictures of him where he looks like he's just like actively dying are so fucking satisfying.
Right, but he looks like a Resident Evil character, like shortly before they transform.
Yeah.
Like it really is just like sickening to see him like get like clearly more and more ill. But Brazil's had like a very long untroubled history, in particular with government suppression of news. If you want to like learn more about this, I'd really suggest watching anything that Michael Brooks has done with his sort of reporting on Brazil, Bolsonaro, and Lula. Very very thorough, and also like because we we conveniently ignore Brazil a lot in the United States when it is like it has a huge population, it has a huge economy. They really were kind of very quickly becoming a world superpower because of their economic status, and it's something that we let slip under the radar, and they elected a fascist as their president.
Crazy how that happens.
Mm-hmm. A lot of U.S. backing with that fascist president too.
Interesting.
But so I guess this is just sort of like a call to be aware of like the world around you, because weirdly enough, news happens outside of the United States. Who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
everything
I
is
guess,
always happening everywhere, and it fucking sucks.
Something that isn't just happening here. Hospitals. We've had such a decline in elective surgeries that hospitals are having to lay off staff and close.
Mm-hmm. That's not just here, though. Yeah, that's also happening in good old England.
Pip, pip.
Yeah, NHS, woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because hospitals are funded mostly by elective surgeries, actually, and not providing healthcare services to citizens.
Right. I mean,
that's so fucked.
I'm not too aware of what like the NHS designates an elective surgery or not, but like elective surgeries here in the United States include things from like as innocuous as like bunion surgery to something like cataract surgery, so you could see. So
yeah, that elective thing where it's like, nah, I'm just not gonna fucking see this year. It's fine.
What if I wanted to become a lumberjack? Just get Paul Bunyan surgery.
Yeah, it's good news that all of our hospitals that we need for effective healthcare in the U.S. Were for some reason relying only on these elective surgeries and not on treating people that need treatment. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's enough people that need basic healthcare services that if we just took all of them and funded hospitals to give them that service, that we would have both enough patients and enough hospitals for that. Maybe if we just like changed the way that we structured our healthcare here in the U.S.
Now, Zach, that sounds like you're nationalizing this whole healthcare thing.
See, I'm not necessarily nationalizing the healthcare. I'm just changing the way that the insurance companies function by nuclearizing the people against the insurance companies. And by nuclearizing, I mean giving them nuclear weapons.
To take down insurance companies.
Someone take down Flo. Someone please take down Flo.
God, I love how you all say insurance.
Insurance.
Yeah, you put an emphasis on the
insurance.
Insurance. That's how you all Southerners say it. It's lovely. I love it.
Well,
how you all Southerners say it.
Yep.
How you Southern
Jesus.
folks.
All of yous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing the Italian voice again, Dennis.
That's great.
Well, but
coronavirus
coronavirus has been nuclear bombing the suicide rates in Japan.
Sorry, nuclear.
Nuclear bombing.
Nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear.
I mean, that's one weird positive thing about this is, Japanese suicide rates have been dropping, and it's been presumed because, like, there's less work stress. Japan...
Also, you get to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
Also, you don't have to get on the train at 5 a.m. every day and get packed
to
in
go
like
to your
sardines.
shitty fucking job. Yeah.
Japan has this interesting little phenomenon that's only found in Japan, China, and Korea, and it's called karoshi, which I don't know the exact translation of, but it is workplace suicides. So this is when like people will like fully just like pour the hot water on their faces or like jump out of the building windows and stuff because they're too overworked. A similar thing happening to students is hikikomori, which causes them to be shut-ins. This happens to workers too, but it's because of the huge amounts of pressure that are put upon Japanese people I took a modern Japanese culture class as part of my BA, and the book was saying that there was a lot less stress on Japanese people, and this was like written back in 2015. And then I asked my cousin who is Japanese and like taught English in Japan, and I was like, how would you say it is? And he's like, no, people are still highly overworked here. There's like, he's like, this is incorrect information.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what got better? What got better since fucking like not even that long ago? That like,
Right.
Japan got rid of its hyper-capitalist work culture and fucking
they just installed nets.
got a lot more chilled out. Yeah, like fucking Jesus.
The thing is, like, so in Japan, it's interesting because like, I would say that America is also extremely overworked and overstressed. Japan has very much modeled a lot of its economics off of the United States, thanks to us writing them a constitution and everything,
taking them over essentially. Yeah.
So
Writing them a constitution.
I mean, we did write the constitution for them. It's great.
Ghost Riders USA.
Yeah, so it's interesting that like just the large cultural differences between us though has led to this, whereas like Americans, beat their wives and kill their kids, whereas Japanese people will like quietly go into a forest and hang themselves or like jump off the building that they work at. Like,
to be fair, Americans will then also film people that then go into a forest and hang themselves.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's a full ecosystem.
Always be monetizing.
Yeah, exactly. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as I desecrate these people's sad escapes from the world.
Right. So
Jesus.
This is like I think in the end this is a net positive. Like, Japan is going to directly go back to its normal ways. That it's just how the United States is going to go back to its normal ways. Things are not going to change, unfortunately, especially with Abe as their prime minister. He's extremely conservative to the point where he's almost a nationalist. And
isn't all of Japan extremely conservative, and they lean that way because of how much older their average citizen is?
In general, it's a little weird. Japanese politics is very strange, where even the younger folks are like either jaded by politics or they do kind of just run with the Liberal Democratic Party, which is the party that is in power and has always been in power since the writing of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are also like weird other Japanese political parties like Soka Gakkai, which are like religious parties, and they're like very hardline conservative Buddhist parties. There's only a handful of actual Japanese parties that are like centrist in big old quotes or leftist. There is a Democratic Socialist Party, and then there is, of course, the Japanese Communist Party, which is the longest running communist party and also the largest communist party that is not in power anywhere. And they do get a couple of seats every once in a while. They've always been in the Diet, which is their version of the Congress. And they have a very big stronghold on all the unions in Japan. And that is one thing that is not that the Liberal Democrats have not been able to take away, is like there have been like union busting efforts, but both the teachers union and various other like labor unions are very much supported by the Japanese Communist Party. So there is at least like some sort of left wing influence.
Some inkling of hope in Japan. Yeah,
they always have like 1 or 2 seats in the Diet, which is good, and they also get rural votes a lot. However, Abe has been able to put into his party's statements that they are going to be doing a lot of the same like social safety net stuff that the Communist Party has been saying that they would do. So it's making a lot of the things that the Communist Party has been promising indistinguishable, other than things that people are not very happy about, like, gender equality rights and LGBT rights.
Hey, another thing that they got ghostwritten by America, the liberals moving just far enough left to implement the communist positions, because that way you take power away from the communists by just doing what they said and then being like, see, why do we need to elect you? When the people
Exactly.
in power will do it.
Yeah.
The real
And then
politician.
when nobody's looking, you fucking just re-austerity them and fuck it up,
Mhm.
and
It's-
it's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah, and the communists are too busy, wanting to support people like women and queer minorities and the racial minorities in Japan that the mainstream are sort of like, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a beautiful blueprint, and it happens in every fucking. I mean, did y'all see the whole thing about Labor getting internally dicked over in Britain by the right wing of their own party, essentially?
Yeah.
God, that's so fucking just what a amazing gambit. Like the British have it down to such a science that they don't even have to have like an outside, centrist liberal party to do it for them. Like they just do it themselves. It's really
that was
really great.
the famous labor leak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was all thanks to like all the very right leaning labor movement that started with Tony Blair back in the 90s.
Yeah. The fucking yeah.
That's great.
Our taunty baby.
Well,
Love that taunty.
I mean, at least here in the U.S., hopefully they'll take after some of the things that we have been doing good for social distancing, such as using blow-up dolls to ensure social distancing in restaurants.
I
God
love
bless
this.
America. If nothing else, if in the fucking history books when we collapse in about 5 to 50 years, like we will have this upon our tombstone, like look upon my works, ye mighty.
This is basically how Fallout happens, right? Like, didn't they have a bunch
Absolutely.
of mannequins all over, and it's just like this is what it was from?
Absolutely, yeah. So essentially, restaurants are seating mannequins and blow up sex dolls at restaurants. At their fucking tables to ensure that it looks like a regular, very normal restaurant with very normal people in it. This one in South Carolina, this other one in fucking
Yeah, and Virginia.
Mhm.
It is the
Virginia,
Inn at
okay.
Little Washington in Virginia. It's a 3 Michelin starred restaurant, and
God.
they don't have blow up sex dolls. They have like a full set of mannequins. I don't know where they rented all the clothing from, but they have them in like old timey clothing. It's
Oh, they definitely just had that in the closet somewhere.
Yeah, no, it looks very like by the look of the clothing, it's very much a like Daughters of Confederate Veterans LARP kind of the vibe I get. I don't know about y'all,
Mhm.
but that's what it seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
they're still making the
And-
servers go table to table and ask them for their orders and refill their drinks.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
and
That itself requires hazard pay because, like, if that is not detrimental to my mental health, I don't know what is.
The owner is just sitting
absolutely,
in the
yeah.
back watching the cameras, just like slowly jacking,
Mm-hmm.
just
slow
edging
jacking.
himself.
Well, okay,
just
so
all night long.
So here's an interesting thing. If someone is doing that, God, I hate that this is the term for it. But if someone is into that, that is technically pedophilia. Because
Wait, what?
yeah, because
Go
pedophobia is the fear of kids, mannequins, and dolls, but pedophilia is the attraction of kids, mannequins, and dolls.
What sort of like
Well, the more you
group
know.
together dying labor union philosophy is
No,
that?
no.
Like kids, mannequins, and dolls.
Unite.
Industrial workers.
Hey,
unite.
blame
Yeah.
blame the Greeks.
Like what the fuck?
Blame the Greeks.
Oh,
It was all it's
I
all their
will
language.
for a lot more than that. But, I mean,
It's all their stupid language.
Yeah, they coined the term after they termed the coin, so to speak. So
That sure is a
you
brutal.
got this guy with a kid, a mannequin, and a doll. 3 equally disgusting things.
That was their attempt to like normalize pedophilia before we caught on that it was about kids. They're like, yeah, it's about mannequins and dolls and kids. What was that last
Wait,
one?
what was that?
What's
Yeah.
the last one? What'd you say?
Yeah, it's mannequins and dolls and kids.
no, you're mumbling the last part again. What were you saying?
I'm saying that we really want to normalize this very normal thing that everybody does, where they have a partner and they need a partner. They could be incel or volcel, and we provide them with mannequins and dolls or a child.
Just take a seat here, sir. Just please take a seat. You know why you're here today?
Oh, no.
It's just a dude in like a fucking toga and laurels and everything.
No, it's the Facebook guy from last episode.
Yeah,
He finally
yeah.
found his calling.
And he's got
No.
the condoms and the cookies and the pizza.
I guess because of the implications behind the term, people who are both fearful and people who are philic of mannequins and dolls have also changed the term to automatonophobia or automatonophilia.
That's just scared of robots.
Yeah, that's robots.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's absolutely just robots.
You're like 2 little electric motors away from motorizing your mannequin, and then you're just like one like generic blowjob machine away from turning it into a sex mannequin. So.
And then you dress it up in its fucking antebellum, ballroom gown, and you open a restaurant in Virginia and fucking watch the money roll in.
Yeah, and then you statistically take it home and then domestically abuse it.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Or-
what they do in old Virginia.
Yeah, or in Australia.
Well, in Japan, they actually just kill themselves in front of the sex.
Oh, no.
It's very different.
Oh, no.
And in Australia, you take it out to the highway and you shoot it, and then you throw brain matter on it.
You cover it in animal blood, and you got let's talk more about this story because
This
there's
one
just
shook me to my core. Like I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the police in Australia responded to reports of what appeared to be a dead body wrapped in a blanket at about 7 a.m. They established a perimeter, closed the highway, and then after a few hours of examination, the body was revealed to be a highly realistic sex doll.
It took hours. I need to emphasize that.
I want to know
point
how
somehow.
realistic. Like they started pulling organs out, and we're like, huh? I mean, the liver looks fine. Huh? The small intestines don't appear to have any damage.
Damn, that's some like
Wow.
that's the
No, these are definitely human, but the body itself is not a real person. So we have some much larger questions.
the
at
thing
work
with
now.
Australian cops is 1 in 4 is actually just a kangaroo in an outfit for comedy reasons.
yeah.
So it's like, it's gonna hold back process just a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Just the kangaroo cop TV show is something I could get behind with the Australian accent.
I would absolutely watch the
Just
fuck
like,
out of that.
we're on the case. We found him. We know who the murderer is. Yep, this case is in the bag. And that's just
Book him, Joey.
Book 'em, Joey.
Also, quick aside.
Did you know in Australia, Jack is slang for
not.
police officer? So Kangaroo
Oh, fucking
Jack
there you
is
go.
actually a police officer. There you
There
go.
we fucking go. Reno 911's on Quibi, and that hurts my heart.
No.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Reno
That's my
911 just
side.
exists in
Yeah.
my mind now. Like just play back.
we
the
have only
episodes.
dedicated like 3 episodes on Patreon to Quibi.
Shitting on Quibi, yeah.
Or as it's known there, like 19 Quibi length. So, 1 Quibi season.
Yeah.
No, dude, they told us we gotta get the branding right. They're just called Quibbies.
Jesus. I bet that this is actually, a coronavirus related incident in that, there's somebody out there who really needs to murder people, but since they were afraid of being exposed to the coronavirus, they had to order a whole sex doll and then do the whole thing, throwing the body out, just to get their fix.
Yeah, a very health conscious serial
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
It's the fucking bad guy from Blue Velvet, the fucking Dennis Hopper guy, but instead of huffing gas and just being a fucking monster, he does it all very. He puts on his mask and then huffs gas through that, and it's all very safe and hygienic. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love how that's, by the way, your like super timely reference.
Oh yeah, no, fucking
Dennis
Blue
Hopper.
Velvet is timeless. I should say, because it allows me to view Dennis Hopper as both I think Frank. I don't know. I don't watch movies. And also Bowser from the fucking Super Mario Brothers
God
movie.
damn it.
He's the same character in both. Fucking watch the DVD commentary.
That seems like something that you're going to just be having to convince the guards at your psychiatric.
Well, see, that's the thing. Nobody's gonna fucking track down and watch the DVD commentary of the goddamn Mario movie, so I can't be proven wrong. Perfect crime.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, if you've made it this far, you're a true comrade, and we want to thank you for sticking around. As long as nobody else has anything else to add, then I will continue with this dialogue.
No, that's it.
Wonderful. Then we would like to shout out all of our patrons, especially Scott for contributing to our dialectical tier, and Spencer, Allie, David, Adelaide, and Drayton for contributing to our Devil's Advocate tier. I made it through that whole thing without stuttering. Y'all help
nice.
keep our show plugging along, and we want to extend our thanks to you. And we also want to hear how you liked our latest Patreon exclusive episode, Monopolyamory.
Yeah, I knew that one would trip you up.
Monopolyamory.
There you go. Another good Greek word.
So let us know what you thought of that, and I guess we will move into our game this week.
So, in a headline chasing game, it's time to play Create a Political Party. The object is of any create a blank is simple, of where we just have several questions lined up, and each of us have answers that we roll through. So less of a game and more, I guess, of us just kind of filling out a form, but relying on our narcissistic personalities to believe that people actually still care enough about this to still be listening.
So it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
It's narcissism and filling out forms.
There's, thank God, less math involved.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think,
None of us can fucking
I
do
think
math.
So
we're all safe.
yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll go and kind of go through the different aspects of each party that we've created, and hopefully you laugh or at least don't turn off the podcast.
Stuff on MySpace back when we did bulletins.
Oh God, Dennis, I love you. You are
Well,
so
you know
old.
I'm so old, folks. I'm so old.
That is exactly what they say what we are. We are the MySpace of leftist podcasts, I guess. We're trying to occupy our own space, and this is where we
This
found
is
our-
my
Actually,
space.
comrade, it's our space.
God damn it.
All right,
Damn it.
let's move on. Create these political parties.
So, yeah, we each made our own political party, of course. So let's go ahead and go around the table here. What is the name of your political party?
Mine is called the Second Glorious Pivot.
Mine is the Butt Pirate Party.
Mine is the balanced party.
Okay. And then I decided that I'm going to go with Rhino Party.
Mm.
Okay, all right, and that's
Like the animal. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And
as
so,
opposed to the other thing.
to help. Yes. Yeah. It's so many things can be that, but to help shed a little bit of light, we have to also give some clarity. So, what is your political party's motto?
We are always wheeling and dealing.
We at the Butt Pirate Party like big butts and haven't really thought about anything much farther than that.
Well, at the balanced party, we are constantly LFG, and that is Liberté, Fraternité, Gay Marité.
That almost sounds like you're in support of gay marriage.
Yeah, no, they are absolutely
So
not in
hopefully
support
that
of gay
doesn't-
marriage. The young men in this political party are, they have opinions.
Yeah, we'll dive into it shortly. Well, the Rhino Party, their motto is no policies, no promises, no disappointment. So the no is capitalized.
I see.
For anyone listening at home. So that's a lot of what they got going on. They felt really proud of themselves for that.
A bit like
But,
the cuck party in the UK. just did not think
I thought
that through.
So now though, let's dive in a little bit. What are the origins of your political party?
Well, the Second Glorious Pivot, started really back in the day when I
God, that
the
name
founder,
rules.
busted my ankle during the big game. Completely busted, just torn to pieces, shredded. We definitely lost the game because I wasn't able to play.
Hey,
not
was a star
because-
player.
Yeah. So I took some hydrocodone and really had a great night thinking about what I believed in while looking at the stars, and that's the origins of our wheeling and dealing.
For the record, too, it was the Dallas Stars. You were watching hockey.
Yeah. Okay, Jesus Christ. So everyone in the butt pirate party's origins come from everyone's and like pop culture's fascination with asses around the mid 2010s, which is culminated in cool is the French way to say ass
Damn it.
in a new
Wow,
way of governing.
fuck you, dude. Hey, I really hope you lubed up for that stretch.
Ooh. You know I have though. So we have culminated in a new way of governing. How? I have no idea, but it's kind of like a club, though. We all just like butts.
Nice.
Yeah.
So mine is essentially,
Kids Club.
all the, so you know how like there's a lot of like Gamergate runoff in terms of like dudes who absolutely totally are like, no, we're just going full on like, yeah, it's about minorities.
Mhm.
These are the guys who are the diehards, right? Who are still like, no, it's absolutely about minorities, but it's also just as much about video games and how, if your protagonist, is any sort of, female or minority or whatever, even if they have like, any hair color other than, I mean, basically, if they look other like than a mid like 2000s third person shooter, mostly bald white guy, they're gonna be mad about it, and that's kind of the issue they've coagulated around.
Coagulated.
I like
Yeah,
it.
there's some Anita Sarkeesian stuff in there too, for sure.
Yeah.
Kelton, what about the origins of the Rhino Party?
The Rhino Party had its start originally as a podcast. Then when the
Of course.
podcast went on tour, it got people to register as members of said political party in exchange for a 20% discount at the door and then an automatic level up in their Patreon rewards. And they were just such a successful podcast going all around the nation, then also doing like a European tour and everything else that they really drummed up a lot of support just around the globe.
Yeah,
got
Kelton, you
the word out
said
there.
you said all the stuff about their grift kind of they had going earlier, and then you said they're a successful podcast. So I was going to ask if you were foreshadowing something about us, but I'm glad you clarified that that couldn't be us by any means.
It's important, but the more important, I guess, than anything else, or a key element to any successful grift or any campaign, is to figure out what your key demographics are. So, what key demographics is your party trying to corner?
The second glorious pivot does not believe in demographics. The demographics of
Whoa.
of
Whoa.
regular
Whoa.
normies
Get this madman out of here! Wow.
that are running in politics today. We just want to reach out to regular people who don't think that politics cares about them, and that's really what we're trying to reach.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so at the butt pirate party, our demo is anyone who likes butts, which is ideally everyone. But if you are a big titty guy, gal, or non-binary pal, we don't want you. Nope.
So what you're saying is they're kind of saying they're like a common sense party,
Yeah.
and common sense is just loving fat asses.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, sign my card right fucking now. Like I am ready to join the cause.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious though how that's gonna work, like with the gamer coalition.
So
'cause
that's
they
the
seem
thing.
to like get so mad, like if the tits get like even 2% shrinkage.
Yeah,
going
no,
on,
it's
so.
really that's kind of one of the big issues for our demographics is Skyrim modders. It's a big tent of dudes who just if it's not an elf with big swinging tits, why play the game? But ideally, as the balanced party, we have an equal measure of DPS, tanks, and healers.
Shut up! I
and
hate
not-
this.
I mean, well, so more often than not, it's like 5 dudes playing Genji, and then like that's it. But we have ideals, is what I'm saying.
I fucking hate this. It's a stupid show.
It is pretty awful. Now the Rhino Party, what they were trying to really ride on the successful wave of, and in a weird sense trying to gain credibility, was by claiming that they were the next iteration of the Youth International movement that occurred during the 60s. They were also known as the Yippies or the Groucho Marxists. And enough of their members had that as their Twitter display handle that it made people think that, well, this had to be the party for them to join.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
that's really what they're going for, is those incredibly online portmanteau Twitter display handle leftists.
Nice.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it is nasty, but I mean, unlike some political parties that are currently in existence, our fake parties are going to actually have at least one platform key issue. So, what is the one issue that your party is focusing on this election that has attracted national headlines?
Well, we are the Second Glorious Pivot really believes so firmly, so strongly in freedom of religion that we really don't think that we need any other platform that really just speaks for itself. Freedom of religion, everyone, no question.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Why have we been in the headlines for it? You'll find out.
Oh, setting something up here, fancy man.
Yeah.
All right.
Quite a tease. What about you,
Okay,
Dennis?
so we here at the Butt Pirate Party our platform is free healthcare and free public education, because having a fat ass is actually very bad for your knees over time. So we need to make sure that your knees are healthy so you can go out to school and show everyone your fat ass.
Yeah.
What about the liberal reformists who are trying to give halfway measures by just applying knee pads for all?
It's still not enough support. Like knee pads are nothing for walking. You're gonna need extra knee braces. And
Knee braces for
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, we don't want just affordable booty or like access to booty. We want a national booty program.
Yeah.
All right? Like yeah. Also, being the Butt Pirates, you got to call it booty.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
booty.
like government assistance. So.
nice. Really, our whole thing is just big titties in video games, as I've stated before. A small but loud contingent of the party is lobbying to make sure that Gone Home never comes out. It's already released. It's a game that exists in the world. They're just real mad about it still. That's about
So they're
it, really.
trying to
Just
purge it.
big
from-
big elf
from the
titties
record
and
books.
purges of the degenerates is what they're
Okay,
they're very loud about.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I mean, the Rhino Party, their main key issue is trying to make everything open source and then free to operate under, but specifically trying to make sure that podcast editing software is free. That's their like major pivot, and also trying to make sure that there's no annoying pop-up windows that you have to sit about 5 seconds through every time you fire it up. I mean, just let it be free anyway. There's no reason to just waste 5 seconds of your life because you're going to check your phone, and then by the time you're checking your phone, suddenly you're scrolling Twitter, 5 minutes has gone by, and then you're staring at it. It's just the whole thing.
This is Bo.
So the podcasts themselves are those free at point of use, or do you get a fucking stamps.com halfway through?
Oh no! I mean, they're free, but it's all. I mean, one episode is of course free. The other element is on their Patreon because
I see.
even
I
though
see
they
the
want
grift.
everything to be open source and free, they still have to find some way to fund their campaign. It's not them being hypocritical. They're just trying to operate under the capitalist structure. You see,
Fair
And
enough.
That's the important thing that they're trying to do.
Have you considered instead that they are protesting capitalism and yet they own iPhones? Think about that. Stew that one around in your head for a little bit.
I'll try and get back with.
Consider also
make-
Venezuela. So
all those Venezuelan iPhones. Just,
think about that one.
So, well, every party needs support. So, what's some notable supporters or endorsements that your party has?
So Mitt Romney really came out strong for our party for some reason. He really believes
For some
in
reason.
our freedom of religion platform. We're not really we totally think, appealing to, very middle of the ground politicians could be a great way to get to get our message out, to reach out to new groups that maybe haven't heard of us before. So somehow, got Mitt Romney on board.
Great.
Just somehow acquired him.
I mean, if the,
Yeah.
just he's there. He signed. He's not even denying it.
Yeah.
It's not even Mitt Romney's like weird Twitter alt with 6 followers.
No, like he's doing public appearances for us. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but hey, the party's growing. That's good.
That's all. That's all.
That's all that
matters.
matters.
What about you, Dennis?
Okay, so I only had 2 written down, but I just thought of a third one who's perfect. So we have Sir Mix-a-Lot, of course.
Of course.
Nicki Minaj, of course. But then
Of course.
the ace up my sleeve is a gay porn star by the name of Adam Killian, who has a very large ass and is perfect for this group.
You might say he's an asset to your party.
One might say he is an asset.
That was such a fucking. That sucked.
So I mean,
Well-
his name is. I'm sorry for the ignorant masses out there. What's his name again?
Adam Killian. It's just his regular name.
More like killing him.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Nice. Well,
Jeez, I
unsurprisingly, Elon Musk is on board with my gamer centric party. He, changed his profile pic to fucking the Deus Ex thing because obviously he didn't fucking understand that game, and nobody in this party.
Gayest sex.
Yes.
It's just right there.
Nobody
I mean,
in this party understands video games either, so it's like much like me in high school. They played BioShock and came out more libertarian somehow. So yeah, that's kind of where they're at. Also, they have used dark foul magics to enslave the ghost of Gary Gygax, which is as far as I know, he was actually a solid dude. So
Yeah, he was.
there we go. Yeah, it's they've perverted him into some sort of I don't know, anti-tabletop lich or something.
with the scrying mirror that they've used, they have a voiceless Gary Gygax, so he's just there looking shocked and scared. He wants to rest in his final days on the other side, but you've brought him back for these dark deeds.
I mean, normally, he would never be speaking on behalf of this hate group, but he was persuaded when they all rolled natural 20s. So,
That's a D&D reference for you. Nice.
There you go.
Good. All right.
yeah. For the rhinos, in addition to their podcast fans, which are just again a horde that they are becoming accountable unto themselves on, they also have several huge endorsements from animal rights groups who, for some reason, thought that the Rhino Party was actually just trying to save the rhinos, and so they fanatically just started dressing up and putting rhino masks on and attending these rallies and then becoming radicalized themselves.
So it's just Hotline Miami. Fuck yeah. Not to show my gamer colors, of course, and turn the conversation, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. That it is a real vibe unto itself. But
I mean, Hotline
That was
Miami's
good.
been the vibe since 2016, really.
Is what about like that lady that originally that went out to, what is it, like South Africa and was like supposed to be out there shooting poachers? Is she also endorsing your group?
oh yeah, I mean it's just the full gambit. I mean, just basically as long as they're part of an organization that purports to be for animals, but ends up just doing mass euthanization of them. They're all on board with the Rhino Party. So it's,
Wonderful.
Wow.
Again, just a real mixed bag here.
Yeah.
But as good as social media is for outreach, it can cause some problems. So what huge controversy has your party been a part of online, and what has the fallout been?
So apparently the Second Glorious Pivot Party has been pushed by Mormons online. They really love our platform of religious freedom. They really, really lined up behind us. They've been donating to the campaigns for all of our party members. We were called out online as a weaponized arm of the Mormon quote unquote financial empire. But I mean, maybe if you look at it that way, maybe that's why Mitt Romney had jumped on board for our party. But really, this is America. You can't argue against freedom of religion, and anybody can donate to us that wants to, and we're not strong arming these people into donating to us. We're not even technically a part of the Mormon Church. So it's been huge, but the fallout really is mostly online. We think we still have we're still polling well. So
perfect. And what about you, Tennis?
So the controversy of mine has that nudes of mine have leaked, which would normally be okay for our party. We're totally okay with that. We want everyone's
with leaking nudes.
Well, no, like they were like consensually out there. Like I'm not.
Okay.
If my nudes get leaked,
they were consensually leaked.
Yeah, no. If my nudes get out there, it's like, yep. Well,
they were published.
Yeah,
I think is the word for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's my dick and there's my ass. Like wow, you found them. Like it probably wasn't that hard. But the thing is, the controversy has been that like my ass is like criminally small. It's unfortunate. And I've just been called a faker and like a weird guy who's into like large asses, which is true, but like that's not incorrect. But that's been the most controversial thing, is that like people have seen my ass and it's really not that much to look at, which is unfortunate.
Heartbreaking, really.
It really is. It's very heartbreaking.
So as far as controversies for mine go, it's really just one big controversy is the entire party, and it's just Gamergate 2. But the twist is it's entirely digitally fucking mediated, right? So this is all happening. It's harassment campaigns, it's doxing, it's death threats, entirely within MMORPGs. So you got your World of Warcraft Classic, you got your fucking Elder Scrolls Online, you got your fucking.
I love that you went.
Your Gaia.
I love that you went with WoW Classic. And Gaia.
Oh, absolutely.
And Gaia.
Yeah.
Is there any Second Life drama?
People are getting swatted at their player homes. You got, fucking level 70 or whatever the fucking cap is. I don't remember because I'm not a fucking nerd. Guards showing up at their houses. It's really, it's just a mess.
Griefing in Second Life.
It's all griefing. Yeah.
EVE Online.
They took the in Minecraft thing and fucking ran with it.
All Minecraft servers are PvP now.
Absolutely.
Fuck. What about the Rhino Party, Kelton? What's your huge controversy?
Yeah, the main controversy with this group, with now having such a diverse coalition behind them, is that when it came out that one of the hosts actually suggested adding a no gluten tier to their original motto statement and pushing for a gluten-free diet, the media got mad and started this whole hashtag of rye, as in rye the bread, and calling it Rye No Party.
Oh,
and
no.
It just, I mean, like, all of the fucking sourdough socialists came out of the woodwork.
I mean, that's really the kind of negative press you can't rise after.
It was the yeast of their concerns, though, considering what came next.
Fuck.
It was really a half-baked campaign plan.
God damn it, Bo.
I'm gonna.
We need to stop loafing around on this one.
I'm turning off this. I'm ending this show.
What can we do about this?
Shut up, all of you! Oh, fuck all of you!
There will be no flower at your funeral.
That was a stretch.
I think I really needed to do it, Bo.
Oh, dude, you're on a roll. Okay, this is fucking stupid. That's a bread pun. Fucking stupid is a kind of bread. Anyway.
Perfect.
So I used to work at a bakery. Fucking stupid is totally a kind of bread. Anyway, yeah.
So all of our parties have made it to election day.
They have somehow, some way. In this hypothetical, we are all very legit, and election day has deemed us all viable enough to appear on the ballot. So what happens?
Well, the second glorious pivot begins the Second Civil War as the Mormon hoplites, the Mormopolites gather their legions to retake the capital from the non-believers. Don't know how we got here, but it's happening.
This is just Fallout New Vegas, is what you're doing. not to interject my politics of my gamer creed into your thing, but
right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
it's a hell of a coalition.
Yeah, it's a wonderful coalition.
Gamers and Mormons.
We didn't think about what would happen. Just we just wanted to make it happen. So
yeah,
Mhm.
that's fair.
Yeah. So, Dennis, what happens on your election day?
So, members of the Butt Pirate Party Pokemon go to the polls, and that's POLES because you're going to be twerking on them.
Oh,
Nice.
And that's it.
I see.
yeah.
I see. Well,
hashtag resistance.
simple. It's
Yeah,
simple.
they go
Yes, that's right.
Twerk
Yeah.
on the polls.
So kind of the thing about voting is a lot of it's done in person, which is unfortunate for our constituency because we don't get out too much, and like the sun was kind of bright on voting day, and like we had a raid planned, so nobody really showed up. And I mean, there was a lot of remote voting and a lot of mail-in votes, but due to America's long history of anti-gamer voting suppression, we just couldn't hack it.
It's them in rural America somehow are
Yep.
united on the stance of mail-in voting. Huh? It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now, for the Rhino Party, the election day was quite monumental for them. One of the hosts got into a little bit of hot water because right before the election came out that they had legally changed their name to Nobody, No One, None of the Above. So whenever anyone wrote that in, it would count as a vote for the Rhinos.
Oh no.
And that's what helped get them over the 5% threshold and become major media darlings for the day. So, I mean, they just kind of spent the podcast, spent the majority of the day then just kind of writing out the news circuits and doing YouTube shows and popping up everywhere saying, oh, wow, we're actually now a legitimate party. This is so great. Look at the progress we've done.
Wow, they were zooming around.
Ha! That's what was happening with them.
I mean,
So-
I personally can't wait to have No One guest on our podcast, so or Odysseus for that matter.
Now, the final question is one of the more tragic ones, of course. And that is, what ultimately was the downfall of your party? What was the thing that did them in?
Right. Well, if you remember, the second Great Pivot Party triggered the Second Civil War. But
I remember.
we underestimated the amount of drones that Barack Obama had stored in his private hangar under his property. And that was
Yikes.
ultimately
Oh, no.
the Mormopolites did not survive.
Oh.
Tragic.
Yep. We made it to the Capitol, but they just bombed the whole thing because they don't actually care about anybody in there because they're all just puppets essentially for the deep state, blah, blah, blah. You know how it
Of course, of
goes.
course, of
They built
course.
the Capitol better with new puppets and, nobody cared. So,
Yeah.
Now, I just have to ask a follow-up question here, Zach.
yeah.
Did Barack Obama, true to form, still find a way to bomb a hospital through all of this?
Yes. No, they took out the entire
Okay,
Capitol.
okay.
They razed
Gotcha. Okay.
pretty much the entire Washington, D.C. Just all of the land is just burned
Well,
down
yeah.
to
I
the
mean,
ground.
they don't count towards the Electoral College, so it doesn't matter. That's a smart policy move
Exactly.
on former President
And then you
Obama's
just
part.
tax the states for the destruction that happened, and you use that money to rebuild it even bigger and better with more marble. And they just christen the whole state with the blood of children now.
There you go.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now, out of curiosity, does this then lead to the inevitable rise of the third glorious pivot party and the ashes of civilization?
The ashes of Washington, D.C. did not bring rise to the third glorious pivot party because the Mormons were the last resistance in the U.S. anyways. And so it's the internationalist pivot party now.
Perfect. I love it. Dennis.
See, this is just the other worse Fallout game you're pitching now. I'm sorry, but as a gamer American, I will not have my heritage slandered like this.
I'm sorry that games reflect reality.
I'm just picturing that ad with the Native American man turning to camera with the single tear running down the street. With
Yeah.
its bow being illuminated by the screen, turning with his headset on, and then like another single tear, but actually it's sweat running down from the top of his forehead that goes into his tear duct and then continues down his face.
They deleted all my My Little Pony Skyrim immersive sex mods, and I'm real torn up about it.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yeah. So, Dennis, what happened with your party?
So the Butt Pirate Party's downfall came from the coalition with the Balance Party called the TNA Caucus, which created distrust amongst our constituents because we originally, in our statement, said no titties, just ass. So
Yeah. And then when they were asked to caucus, that just,
Yep.
threw a whole other fucking bunch of complications in the mix.
Cock
Yep.
us? Huh?
Oh,
yeah.
Who am I, Lady Gaga?
Oh
Wait,
my
that's the
God.
bonus episode.
Oh god, that just becomes a transphobic joke with no context.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, now
Oh,
I'm a QAnon
no.
guy too, on top of everything. That's the fucking third act twist, baby.
The secret is that
What
Transphobic
year?
QAnon
What
shit.
year?
That's it.
we're all ContraPoints.
Je suis
Okay.
ContraPoints.
Well, if I may take the floor here, what eventually splits the gamer party, like any policy or ideal driven party, is just infighting. Just like I've established, there is one good Fallout game, or 3D Fallout game at least. And if you think otherwise, you're a beta cuck soy boy who's clearly white knighting for.
Anita
I can't finish this sentence. No, I'm out of Mountain Dew here. I can't work my way through the rest of that. But yeah. So a lot of parties, just internal party purity, kind of drove us to into the ground.
Damn.
Yep.
You hate
Every
to see
server shuts down eventually. You can't just play CS with your boys forever. Eventually, that Mario Kart 24/7 TF2 server is gonna shut down, and when it does, the gamer party does with it.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
F.
Last
Real
bastion of
harrowing
true
shit, I
freedom.
know.
Yeah.
Yep.
F in chat.
It's not good.
Yeah,
Well,
no, the biggest
the
F's in
Rhino-
chat.
The Rhino Party, for anyone wondering at home, the downfall that they incurred was that instead of recognizing the rhinos, the federal government just decided to raise the bar for entry beyond 5% nationally, and it effectively ruined any chance they had in the next election of making headway, but it also neutered any chance of a possible third-party takeover. By then raising the bar, it just eliminated any real chance of Socialist Alternative or PSL or the Green Party or of anyone else beyond the two-party system actually doing anything good.
Right,
So
right.
They kind of doomed everything for them.
So just, what the federal government normally does.
yes, absolutely.
Jesus.
Has to add some beautiful realism to all of this. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, as if mine was realistic, Kelton. Come on now.
Yeah.
No, yours was too realistic. I'm scared
You,
of it. That's why.
You love to see, these chauvinist podcast fascist pipeline hosts come out and really ruin the chance for real revolutionaries to have a platform and a voice on a national level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, speaking of realism, I mean, I'm just thinking like that this is what the fucking Republican Party is going to be once all the Nick Fuentes Zoomers grow up and fucking get into politics proper.
Ooh, fuck.
So, strap on, boys.
Yes, strap on.
So buy a strap,
Strap on.
You heard it here
Get pegged or
first
die
from
trying.
Bo.
That's our only way out, is in. I've got so many fucking catchphrases. Try me.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Try.
It's just booty shorts that say "Try me" across the ass. Yeah, because I'm officially defecting to the big booty party,
Booty pirate party.
the booty pirate party. Yes,
Well, we're happy to have you over here, Bo.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh fuck! Oh man! Well, I think that just about does it for this episode.
Oh, it does it.
Yeah.
Shut up!
It
Bo.
does something, all right.
Oh fuck! Kelton, what bugs do you have for this week?
Oh
bugs.
man. yes, that's the huge thing I think that we all should be focused.
Oh, it is a huge
on.
thing. I am sorry. This is getting overwrought.
Let's see. Going on this week for the Garbage in, Garbage Out, we covered Solar Opposites last week, the new TV show that's on Hulu. This week, we're actually going to be covering that god-awful Scoob movie. So be on the lookout for that. It is an ungodly horror show, and I can't wait to talk about it with people.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo. Of course it's going to be scary.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's not like they decided to take the premise of Scooby-Doo, then try to expand it out into its own like weird Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe whatsoever. Nope, that definitely didn't seem to be what was happening here.
Oh, no.
Good times, good times.
Franchise,
and then-
all the things.
Yeah, thoroughly lancing any fucking, proper shot at a real Harvey Birdman reboot. So that's,
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say they
fucking
already
heartbreaking.
did this with Harvey Birdman.
Yeah, and it was fucking great.
Yeah.
But alas.
and it worked. So hold on, I forgot my point here for a second. No, and then over in the world of sports, NASCAR is coming back, so I am gonna have to learn how to get into that. It's such a hellscape being a sports fan right now because it's Korean baseball, NASCAR, then also figuring out how the NFL is going to be adding virtual fans to every stadium for their broadcasts.
Oh,
So,
no.
Expecting some real 2006 Madden graphics.
I was going to say, it's going to look like a bad PlayStation game. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
It's the
that's all
same
this-
guy in like different shirts, copy-pasted 1,000 times. That's great.
And then
Hey,
they-
I mean, to be fair though, like most football games, you won't have to code for any women. I legitimately didn't know this, but Madden games didn't have a single female audience member until 2014.
wow.
Yeah,
And they
just
were
as
like,
the
"Oh."
balance party. That's the balance party lobbying in action, all right?
Yep. Wow, this is
Effective change.
we're planning better for opening virtual sports back up online than we are for making PPE for healthcare professionals and citizens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Follow the money, baby.
Yep. Bo, you're going to be putting a bonus episode up on Patreon this week.
Fucking right, I am.
One this
It's
week,
good you
or is
mentioned
it
that.
two this week?
It's one. I don't know where you're getting the two from.
Okay. Yeah, no, we had two out last week, did we not? I don't remember.
No. I just rolled all that into one episode because
Oh, okay.
the audio was jank. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking touch this. I'm sorry, folks. It just came out that way due to it got coronavirus. That's my excuse.
There you
yeah.
go. Oh, don't miss
Yeah,
our.
the audio got coronavirus, but at least it was on time this week. So there's that.
Yeah.
Definitely sub to our Patreon for that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kelton shows are on YouTube. Sports Radio 1917 is at least, and Dennis also posts videos there. What was your last video, Dennis?
The last video I don't remember now.
Oh, good.
I do have one in the works.
Furries,
It's going
I
to be
believe.
about John C. Lilly, who is partially one of the reasons why we have such a funny name for our podcast. So be on the lookout for that. It's a lot more research than I was anticipating.
Yes, we promise we read books. It's not just purple monkey dishwasher shit.
Right.
Sometimes we read
Promise.
books.
Sometimes we read books. Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. So a John C. Lilly video coming out, and then don't forget about our Twitch streams Tuesday and Fridays. This
Mhm.
Friday we have a very special guest joining us.
It's a good friend of mine, a leftist and a illustrator and now content creator. It's Dick Hanby or Nick Danby. He goes by a couple different names, or otherwise known as the Loading Zone. He's a propagandist and is also making a online queer centric film review with his friend Diego called Disaster Peen Theater. It's a wonder. Check that out on YouTube. We will be playing Civ 6, and Danby will be my royal vizier, helping me because he's a huge history buff and also a very big fan of all the muscly men that are in Civ 6. So,
yeah, Civ. I don't know what it is because like every iteration of Civ, they've just made everyone sexier. It's really weird.
Civ
I mean, like I like
69.
it.
mm-hmm.
I cannot wait for Civ 69.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be great.
Montezuma is one of my favorites in Civ 6.
He is cut as fuck. It's amazing.
And then Gilgamesh is like just a
daddy.
Big old bear daddy. Oh man.
Yeah.
Quite the game.
Well,
but yeah, he will be acting as my
quite the game.
He'll be acting as my royal vizier. We will be streaming Civ 6, and it should be fun because it's the Switch version, so it runs a little slow, but that's great for catching up on Twitch because there won't be a huge delay.
Oh yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Well, I think that does it for us. If anybody else has anything to plug, otherwise, Kelton, you can go ahead and take us out.
All right, guys. Deuces. Thanks for listening to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage. Check out our link tree in the show notes so you can join our Discord and subreddit and become a part of the community. Find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Word of mouth is still the best way for us to bring this weird leftist show to as many people as we possibly can, so if you like the episode, please share it with someone. Anyone. Just one other person at your school or office or parole hearing who you think might like what we do. We trust your judgment. Be sure to join us every week for Destiny Tuesdays on our Discord, the PDLR Fantasy Sports Show Thursdays on our YouTube channel, and Variety Game Night Fridays on Twitch. That just about covers it. All right, we love you. Bye.